Welcome to the Art of Conversation. It's your girl Alisha C. And we out here recording live. Yo. Happy Monday, everyone. Good morning. I hope you're feeling mindful this Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. It goes so fast. Woo, it's like you put your head down, go to sleep on Friday, and poof, it's Monday morning again. We lost an hour of sleep, but we should be used to this by now, right? Happens every year. The title of today's episode is Dangling Like a Carrot. So I want you guys to picture this analogy, right? Dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit. And that's similar to telling the American people that they are getting a Doge tax refund check, aka Doge dividend, right? The idiom itself, dangling like a carrot, refers to tempting someone with a reward or a reward that is often out of reach. How often do they do this to the American people? And yet some wholeheartedly believe that taxpayers will receive this check refund. And it's so many different amounts we hear. You know, first we hear 5,000, maybe 8,000, maybe 10,000. Then it drops to 5,000, and then it's 2,500 per person in a household, which would accumulate to 5,000, blah, 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 blah. No real set amount, but a lot of misinformation left and right. Some people are debating. You know, I've sat with a few people, and we've had these discussions regarding the check and just what's going on economically and in the world. And, you know, it later turned into an argument, unfortunately, because people have so many different reviews about this. Some folks are lying. Some just seeking attention. I mean, you know, that's just personal conversations, right? And then we have social media, and you know how that's a crock of shit sometimes. And you have lots of people, I don't know if you guys have noticed, people lying. They want views, attention. Some are saying, hey, y'all, check y'all mailboxes because I just got my $8,000 stimmy. Other people saying, yo, this is for real. I just got my check. Yo, check y'all accounts. So mind you, it was just a discussion, just an idea. Allegedly, this is money stolen from taxpayers. Come on. When we think about how much money has been stolen from all of us collectively, 5,000, 8,000, 10,000 is merely, okay, enough. That's just my opinion. So, yeah. It's not approved yet. So, the fact that people are saying that they received these checks, their checks, and check y'all account and check your mailboxes, and then you have some people, oh, Daddy Trump to the rescue, and whoever didn't vote for Trump and hates Trump shouldn't get their check, and blah, 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 and whoever is a Democrat shouldn't get one, But again, this is an idea, a proposal. It hasn't been approved. But I could have sworn y'all hated this man, this crook, yeah? But now y'all calling him daddy, right? How quick they switch sides when money's involved, right? I don't know, for some reason, I just got to drop this here. Let me know if you guys, well, do you guys remember this song? Because I feel like as I'm saying this and just laughing at how many people, oh, Daddy Trump to the rescue, this song pops into my head. Y'all remember this?
I'm calling you daddy, daddy, can you be my daddy, daddy, I need a daddy, daddy, won't you be my daddy,
All right. I just felt like it was an appropriate song to throw in there because I've literally heard people refer to this man as Daddy Trump because he is planning to give out these checks. And I get it, you know, during these times people can use the extra money. A lot of people had their tax money snatched from them. So, you know, with inflation and cost of living and the tariffs in effect, you know, money, I get it. I totally get it. But all jokes aside, right? They are literally playing in people's faces, left and right, as always. This is nothing new. But I feel like they kicked it up a notch as of 2025, right? This new presidency. And many people believe that, yes, you know, we're going to get those Doge checks because remember back during COVID, he gave out them stimmies and and, you know, people are still stuck on that. So they put their trust in the Trump administration. Then we hear Elon Musk saying, if it were, keyword, if it were to happen, Americans would receive a refund check in the summer of 2026. Then we heard April 2025. Then we heard the summer of 2025. Then we heard back to summer of 2026. Then we heard as of March. Then we heard some people started getting these checks already. But you see, this is what I mean by playing in people's faces. Because if it's not one thing, it's another. If this is not approved yet and it's just an idea, my thing is, and this is just my opinion, why even tell people? So if this is just an idea, a possible proposal, why not work behind the scenes and see if this is even possible, you know, work through it, get it approved where it's in writing, and then you disclose this information. Why even get people's hopes up? You know that people are going to desperately inquire about this money, wait for it, question it, stress about it, expect it. Why do that? So everything they do, it's always an intention, an agenda behind it. Why even disclose that? But then again, when we're talking about distractions, right? And there's so many and they come in so many different forms. I get what they want. To keep people desperate, distracted from what's really happening behind the scenes. So in the midst of all of that and everything else that has been going on, there's Trump's executive order that ends the National Law Enforcement Accountability Database, which basically proposes that the Justice Department deletes database tracking federal police misconduct. While some are focused on these stimulus checks and refund checks, the initial police and order that laid out steps to improve use of force standards and research and ensured appropriate use of body cameras and required anti-bias training, in addition to creating a misconduct database. And this is a database that basically contains all dirty cops. Let's just say that, right? So here's an example. If you have a New York cop who abuses his or her power, right? And let's just say they decide to take advantage of a drunk citizen. If this is found substantiated, the database is there to track the history. So they can have their certificate pulled, meaning no rehire once they lose their license. They can't work in any other state. If this database is deleted, which it has been, that means that a dirty cop could commit the misconduct, leave New York State, and get rehired in another state, let's just say maybe New Jersey, Pennsylvania, etc., and start a whole new life and possibly continue the same misconduct. And let's just say they get their certificate pulled in that state, and then they hop and move to another state and do the same. You get what I'm saying? That database tracks that. With that not in place, it continues. So we're not even 6 months in, and 2025 has been a hell of a cinema, huh? So in addition to that and the many other things, we also hear about this mandatory death penalty for those convicted of killing officers, right? So Trump announced that he signed an executive order that would make the death penalty mandatory in such cases. So during his speech, he asked lawmakers to make it a permanent law, right? So he's directing the U.S. attorney to seek the death penalty for all crimes of a severity demanding its use. In two specific circumstances, when a law enforcement officer is murdered or when the defendant accused of a capital crime is an immigrant in the country without legal status, the government will pursue the death penalty. Whew. And that's regardless of any other factors. So Trump's order applies only to federal crimes. Now we think about state laws, right? So each state has its own death penalty laws for state crimes. And state lawmakers are debating the future of capital punishment amid any concerns over wrongful convictions, racial disparities, and high cost, obviously. So according to Law Today, crime experts question the death penalty's effectiveness as a deterrent, while some religious lawmakers say it is inconsistent with their opposition to abortion. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about that? There's a lot of stuff getting thrown our way, right? And there's so many things that are happening behind the scenes, but then certain things are pushed in your face. It's just crazy. So, although that's like a quote unquote cool or right idea, my issue, and this is my opinion, my issue is that it limits to only police officers and immigrants, right? Specifically police officers. So my thing is, what about the citizens? What about the citizens whose lives are being taken by dirty cops? Where's the actual justice? What about the predators, the child murderers, and those who are killed due to microaggressions that still exist? So do you still think they have the Americans' best interests at heart? I don't think so. And then, because, hey, what's life without a challenge, right? While all of that's happening, remember, it's like a game of dodgeball, right? So many balls flying. You can't hone in and just focus on one because there's a lot going on and being thrown at you, right? So all of that mess is happening. And remember, they're still talking about the Doge checks, right? Oh no, we're going to go for the highest amount. So it's not 5,000, it's 8,000. And people are like, woo. So, in the midst of that, we hear about this alternative, this AI generated visuals, right? Brain implants for prisoners. This is their alternative, right? We hear about this new approach adopted by Cognify, which involves using high resolution brain scans to make accurate maps of the neural pathways of prisoners. Okay, so these maps are then used to target several regions of the brain, including those that control memory, thinking, and logical thoughts. All right? Here's the key, wink, wink. It allows criminals to feel the emotional effects of their crimes from the perspective of their victims, right? These AI-generated, fabricated visuals of crimes reportedly will be so detailed that the criminals, aided by the brain implant now, will be forced to confront the emotional effects of these crimes, making them less likely to commit offenses in the future. Shit. I would say, what? There they go trying to play God again. Aha! AI, generated AI is getting out of control. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there are some videos, pictures, and things that look so realistic, but it's AI. My God, it's getting out of control. It's so in our faces, though. So this is their alternative, right? And these criminals will have the option to either remain in prison and carry out their sentence or participate in Cognify. What could possibly go wrong? Again, in my opinion, it's not justice, okay? All right, they feel what they put the person through. Fair enough, that's called karma. But how sure are you that they won't commit these crimes or worse later? How sure are you? And it gives them almost a quote-unquote get out of jail free card, right? Because instead of carrying out this prison sentence, it's expedited, it's shortened. So you just got to sit there and deal with, okay, you feel the emotional effects, blah, blah, blah. So what about the people who commit a crime such as Pew? What about the victims who get maybe one shot to the head and instantly die on the spot? They're not really able to feel anything. It's just you shot them in the head and it's instant death. So what about those cases? They're not really feeling much. And instead of carrying out their sentence, and the families of these victims, or even the victims, if they do live, how is that providing them justice if they chose the alternative, which is Cognify? Okay. Again, how sure are you that they won't commit these crimes or worse later? And then it's AI, for Christ's sake. While many AI systems, especially those relying on large language models, are trained on and utilize data from the internet. Even though AI is not controlled by the internet itself, it's the data and the algorithms that are used to train and operate AI systems that are connected to and influenced by the internet. How many times have we heard them threaten the cut and pull the plug? And some of we've experienced this a few times. You've seen how crazy people went when they couldn't access Facebook, Instagram, and certain medias, and how everybody was going bonkers. Oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I blah, 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 blah. What do you mean? What are you going to do and how you're going to blah, blah, blah? What were you doing before these things were popular and a thing? How were you communicating before all of this technological advancements occurred? We went and seen people and spoke to them. We had face-to-face interactions. We wrote by hand, What were we doing before this? People went crazy. Then we get threats about power outage. And, we briefly discussed, okay, if that was to occur, people won't be able to get direct deposits, access money. Can't really do much. So with that being said, what happens if something like that occurs and this Cognify bullshit is a thing? What happens to these people with these brain implants? Uncontrolled AI systems have the potential to perform autonomous and unintended actions or make decisions that conflict with human values. Ooh. What does that sound like to y'all? Sounds like mind control to me. Stay woke, folks, and pay attention to the unimaginable changes occurring around you and at a rapid rate. Dangling like a carrot, right? They know what they're doing. Here they are dangling the idea of these Doge checks. Money, 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 money. And behind the scenes, but still in your face, because they have to show and tell you what they plan to do. But it's just like, oh my God, they're doing that. And then it gets brushed off. And then we hear about the Doge checks again. Then we hear about the stock market crashing. Then we hear about another plane in Pennsylvania setting on fire. Yachts are getting set on fire. All these things happening. Then we get a reminder of the Doge checks again. Money, money, money. Remember, money. Look over here. We're not going to give you 5,000. We're going to possibly give you 8. Ooh. What? While they doing this, stay woke, folks. I always encourage everyone to educate themselves, start creating your backup plans, but most importantly, take care of your mental health, because it is the mind that they are after. Because once they have that, they have everything that belongs to you. Remember that. Happy Monday. Stay prayed. Be safe. And peace out.